I should have realized this earlier. She, who was afraid of God, was just like them, who accepted their salvation. Both brands of madness probably had roots in the exact same thing. So she was just as susceptible to madness as they were. Really, you didn't realize that sooner. I think every one of us have figured out that something was wrong with Chiemi, and that something is wrong with her in her head. That she's crazy. Come on. However, it wasn't too late for her. Yasunaga Oribe's expression stayed the same. But right before I looked away from him, I saw a slight change. It was bitterness, irritation, something out of place on a Victor's face. That made me realize that his plans for this scene wasn't lost to madness. Then I had no choice but to take advantage of the opportunity. I grabbed Chiemi's hand. I pulled with so much force that she fell on her backside, but I didn't care. I dashed past her and swung my weapon at Yasunaga Oribe. I hit Haruaki once, Haruaki twice, and Yasunaga Oribe 5 or 6 times. Then I ran to Chiemi, Meiko, who were completely dumbfounded and fled the hall. There was no time to waste. I had to hurry up and escape. If I didn't, I'd waste the one chance he'd given me. He's trying to escape. He's trying to save you guys.
なあ、ちえみ。
何？
あの安永くんってのは本当に頭が良くてやがるな。
何のこと？
Yeah, what does that supposed to mean? Carry the girl! You would run faster that way. I was probably irritated, and not just because of hunger. It was because of the epiphany I'd had, and because it had taken me so long to reach it. Yasunaga Oribe had a different motive.
芹沢千恵美に惚れている君は彼女だけは手にかけたくなかった。そして残っていた合理的思考でわずかでも彼女を救う可能性があるのは脱出しかないと判断した。
Really?
しかし大っぴらに脱出を認めれば他の全員に汚れが及ぶがゆえに、僕が全員を叩きのめして無理やり連れて行ったという形を取らざるを得なかったということなのだろう。
That's a roundabout way of trying to save someone. If he didn't intend to let me run away, he wouldn't have thrown away the sickle. He was basically signaling for me to understand and finally attack him. In the end, he was far more clever than me. I never stopped dancing to his tune. Regardless of no, exactly because of that, I had to help these two escape no matter what.
なんせ大人だからな。
Trying to act cool now, are we? By the way, using an adult without relying on one yourself was a very adult thing to do, Yasunaga Oribe. Good luck with the rest. We crossed the field paths, went past the sown graves, and over the boundary. Descending the cliff took a lot of patience. It didn't seem like they were chasing us, so we could go down carefully. Chiemi's expression was dead. She'd been hit hard by a sudden revelation. The game board had been flipped on her. She'd lost, and now she had to suddenly say goodbye to her old friends. It was hard to just laugh that off. Should I have told her about Yasunaga-kun's intentions? I did consider it, but couldn't bring myself to. He chose to save her by sacrificing their relationship. If she knew, she'd probably want to go back to the settlement. Or maybe I just didn't want to say it because of my pride as a man. That was fine by me too. Being able to shrug off such unfairness was one of the blessings of adulthood. So I consoled Chiemi, shouted to Meiko to be more careful, and generally talked as much as I could. The mist grew even denser.
ねえ、ちえみ。もう村の外って言ってよくない？
そうかも。
Yeah, I can hear the river.
やったぞ。ほら、何事もなく抜けられた。
Don't jinx yourselves, Haruaki.
やった？
そうそう。さあ、川を下って町に
What if
戻
you
ろう。
guys got turned around at some point?
川、どっち？
I couldn't see anything. I hadn't just lost my bearings, it was worse than that. I couldn't even see Chiemi or Meiko's faces, and I was actually holding their hands. We were already at the bottom of the cliff, walking on the stones below. We heard water, so it was clear we were close to the river. But I didn't know if we could keep going right now.
ちょっと休もうか。
無理よ。
Why can't we?
ちえみ、
I thought she was gonna freak out again, but
違うの。
she stopped me.
聞こえないかな。水音以外に何か。
What? All I can hear is water. Is there something else? Confused, I strained my ears.
何か聞こえる？
Yeah, what are we supposed to hear?
ワンワン。追ってきてる。
They were actually they were acting strange. I strained my ears again. Was it above us? I could hear the faint sounds of rustling leaves from the top of the cliff.
逃げなきゃ。
I couldn't hear anything, so I guess it's just them that could hear it and not exactly us who are playing this game, or you guys who are watching me play this game.
もう疲れた。Haruakiさん、メイコちゃんを。
Just carry her. The intensity in Chiemi's voice made me take the situation seriously. What if the sound was just a wind though? Was he jumping at shadows? But I would have been lying if I said I wasn't worried. After all, a question remained unanswered, and according to the legend, this was their HQ. Wait, they were the good guys, right? Still, this wasn't a normal place. I had to get out of here ASAP. After a while, I was forced to recognize the anomaly. We couldn't reach the river. I ran along the riverbed. It should have been small, just a few meters wide. But even after 10 minutes of running, there was no sight of the river. We couldn't get anywhere. It was just like Ringwanderung. What? A phenomenon where people wandering snowy peaks lose their sense of direction and just end up walking in circles. However, even if my sight was limited, how could anyone get lost on such a small riverbed? I could hear the stream right next to me. This felt so wrong. I was as good as blind. All I could trust were my ears, but that just made me realize how useless that was to rely on. I trusted my sense of direction less with every passing second. So, the sounds of parting grass in the distance, the sound of claws stepping on the rocks, I felt like they were getting closer. I couldn't be certain. Eventually, we slowed down. The others didn't say anything, but they were clearly exhausted. We hadn't eaten for days, not to mention the dense mist made our clothes all uncomfortably damp and cold. We walked along the riverbed without uttering a single word. The sound of water was getting closer, but something else sure was. Something. Things I didn't know scared me. The chill and the fear strangled me like a garrote as I carried Meiko, passed out from exhaustion, on my back. How long has it been like this? Suddenly, the hand I was dragging became heavier. Chiemi had stopped.
Haruakiさん。
She called my name through the mist.
何か
What's
な？
happening? What's gonna happen now? I tried to sound lighthearted, but I wasn't confident I'd pull it off.
もうダメだ。これ。
Her voice suggested the image of a grim smile.
何を言ってんだ？
Unlike before, I couldn't manage the defiant tone I'd use whenever she said something stupid. It was true that something unnatural was happening and that there was no simple explanation. And Chiemi was wearing down both physically and emotionally.
ちょっと休もう。そ
That
れで
felt
進
like
め
an
ば
incomplete
すぐ
sentence.
抜けられる。大丈夫だ。
ダメだよ。無理だよ。
Yeah,
どうして？
why is it impossible? I believe there's an explanation on why you think that.
あのね、私がいたら、きっと、川は越えられないんだ。
Because you're a Yomibito? What? That was like...
だって、 言ってたじゃん。読み人は私たちの方だって。だから、
だから彼岸を渡れないとでも言うつもりか。
だって私、小さい頃からずっと休みずのものを食べてきた。それに、私は、汚れてるから。
So she admitted to it, or is she just saying that?
見ないで!
Oh crap, she really is. Look at her face, guys. I turned around and pulled her by the arm. I looked at her face from point blank range. It was covered in brown and yellow blisters. Before I could even be surprised or disgusted, I just kissed her. The sugary taste of blood, pus, and rust filled my mouth and spread through my throat. Ew? I didn't care. Okay, that's just disgusting. Then to discard all unnecessary emotions, I hugged her as hard as I could. My breathing and thoughts ceased. I kept it up until the pain began to fade, then disappeared completely. Eventually, our lips were separated once again. She prioritized words over breaths.
ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。本当、ごめん。
Even so, I hugged her tight. I couldn't lose to something so ridiculous. She weakly hugged me back, but she couldn't keep it up for long.
行こう。
だから。
行こう。
The presence in the distance was definitely closing in. Our gonna face those together, we walked. I felt like I'd been walking for several hours now. Our pursuers were close now, but I had no intention of rushing. Chiemi was slowly but surely getting weaker by the second. Her speed slackened with each step, and the weight on my arms was becoming heavier. I could hear her cough and vomit something out. She apologized every time she did, and I basically replied with "it's alright," using different words every time. How can you say different words? How can you say, I don't know, "it's alright" in different words? We walked. Chiemi's feet began to make wet sounds with every step. We walked. Maybe we'd actually been here for only a few minutes. We walked. Chiemi kept apologizing. Maybe we haven't even moved a single meter. We walked. Maybe none of this was real. Then, maybe nothing that happened here would be weird. Eventually, Chiemi called out to me with a hoarse voice.
Haruaki-san.
The fact that she said something different had sparked a moment of baseless hope. And so,
ありがとう。
her gratitude was followed by another wet sound.
楽しかった。
Did her hand break? With those final words, her weight vanished. It was strange. After all, I was still holding her hand. Just a fragment of her hand. Yeah, just her hand. Or rather, only her hand. With a splash, her bodily fluids spread around while her limbs and entrails just collapsed. Chiemi was gone, leaving behind only her rotting hand. Perhaps her remains were piling up in the mist ahead. I had a strange certainty I couldn't touch it ever again. Was this what they called a yomibiro? I couldn't accept this, no matter what.
私の
So you're gonna take... I guess he's gonna take her hand now. Oh, sorry, I pressed it again. I put the hand in my jacket pocket. I took Meiko, oh my god. I took Meiko still sleeping and shifted my grip to make carrying her easier. I continued walking for too long. Meiko woke up. She was shocked that Chiemi was gone and cried for a bit, but then said she wanted to walk by herself, so I put her down on the ground. The very next moment, she was dragged into the mist. It was clearly a malicious force that did that. To me, it looked like a furry arm. A scream resounded. It was an inhuman, animalistic scream. After hesitating a moment, I turned to run and caught a glimpse of something beastly within the mist Meiko had disappeared into. I ran. And ran. And ran again. Ran some more. Suddenly, I felt myself step into something wet. I had arrived at the river. It was meaningless. I'd lost everything. And in the end, only I survived. Maybe it was meant to be that way? Stop reminding us that he's carrying her freaking hand, rotting hand. Jeez. Was there any meaning in fulfilling that promise? No. The meaning was for me to find. That was why I had to survive and find a forest. Yeah, I still had that hope back then. Now there's three wolves. They finally broke through the mist and showed themselves. Oh, of course. This really was hell, wasn't it? This wasn't the human realm or nirvana. It was a river of hell. So of course both sides of it were gonna be hell. There was no splash when we threw Takumi-san's body in, was there? The moment we went into the mist and down the cliff, our bodies vanished from the world and reached a place from which there was no... Wait, are you saying that everyone's dead, including Haruaki? And they finally had no choice but to accept it. As someone who had taken in the flesh and blood of a Yomibito, Chiemi, I couldn't escape either. Just leave the freaking hand anywhere. Don't carry it with you. That was why I screamed stupidly, only managing to run a few steps before their sinister claws tore me apart. Oh my goodness. Damn it. Where had I gone wrong carrying... Yes, maybe. And also taking Chiemi's hand, literally taking her rotting hand and pocketing it, maybe. Not believing Chiemi when she told me she couldn't escape. No, it went back even earlier than that. Deciding to go on a road trip of some kind, I already knew the answer. Shit. I really wished I'd been part of Yasumizu and participated in the feast of the Yomi Purge. Maybe I could have gotten a different ending than this. So I'm guessing we're gonna get our second key after this game over or end of the line scene. That was the last thought that went through my mind before all faded away. So yeah, that's the second... I'm gonna let you guys listen to the music because I think some people are looking for this music. Okay, so there's no vocals, it seems, even though it says there that there is a vocal, but there isn't. But yeah, so let's talk about it a little bit. So we have to make sure that Haruaki gets to join the Feast of the Yomi Purge, and maybe change some votes here and there. I wonder though, who are we supposed to really side on? Who is telling the truth? I think that is first and foremost what... Prepare yourself for the next piece, what we have to really understand about this game, because it's not the ending, and I'm really curious what key we get. Raging... Yeah, that's the title of the game, if you guys aren't aware. Whirls and Claws is the name of this route. Are we going to see... Okay, there. Obtain key 04, sink into Nirvana. The route unlocked by this key is represented by the same number on the scenario chart. Yeah, we know that already. We got ending number 1. So let's go ahead and watch Hint Corner and see what Mr. Sheep has to say. Thank you. Because even though we got a bad ending, we still got an ending and we still completed one loop.
最初のメインルート、読みはこれで終了だ。達成感とラブラブな空気に
What lovey-dovey atmosphere? What are you talking about, Mr. Sheep?
無理かよ。せっかくテンション上げてやったのによ。
No, it wasn't. Definitely wasn't.
無理もねえか。とんでもねえ鬱な結末だったもんな。が、気合い入れてくれ。より良い結末を
Is there really a better ending to this?
今回のバッドじゃないエンド1。題して、
Fun in the marshes with Chiemi.
川遊びについてだが、
That's not really what the name of the ending is.
ぶっちゃけ正解だからな。アドバイスはね、よりマシな結末を探すなら、久石春明が言ってた通り、
Yeah, I figured. If I remember correctly, the other route, I mean, the other choices that we have for the moment can be found during that first set of scenes with Chiemi in her room, I think. There were 3 other choices, apart from the ones that we were forced to take, I think. But 3 of them were locked, and I think that's where the 4th lock is, that we now have a key for.
今回手に入ったキー4を握りしめ、
Yes, I figured just as much, Mr. Sheep.
シナリオチャートを見ればわかるが、これで開く鍵は
Yeah, I
随
figured.
分
We're gonna have to go way, way back.
言っちまうと1起点の
Holy crap, that's a long way away, and I'm not even sure if getting to that point is the same as, you know, what we went through, you know?
あそこに最初に並んでた鍵付き選択肢がようやくこれで開く。
That's curious.
新ルート潜入が
Having a name like that, infiltration. Does Mr. Sheep mean infiltrating the Feast of the Human
より
Purge?
混迷を極める事件に肉薄し、今回の後悔をもう味わわないよ
Even more chaotic scenario, so we better prepare ourselves. Holy crap.
つうわけで今回はここまで。次も元
Thank
気
you
に
so much, Mr. Sheep. Alright, let's just take a look at... Yeah, so this is really... I think this is where the question was. This is where we have to start next time. But yeah, I'm gonna go and stop right here because I think this is a good place as any to stop. We can still... Oh my god, my colds! Yeah, let's go back. Yeah, so I still have one more chapter that needs to be unlocked. It's a 4th chapter. That's as far as we can get. So it's gonna be a pretty long ride, guys. Still pretty long ride. They weren't kidding. Kemco and P-Cube Games weren't kidding when they told me that I would have a lot of content for this before, you know, the ban on videos even hit, because there is a ban. We are only allowed to show videos of Let's Plays and walkthroughs guides up to chapter 4, but we are allowed to make a walkthrough provided that we're not going to spoil anything. So I'm still going to make that walkthrough where I share with you guys the correct choice and which choice does what on a separate video sometime in the future. But yeah, for now, this is as far as we're gonna go, so thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all when we loop right back to the beginning of the game and try to get that other ending and see where that will lead us. Until then, dream on, fly on. Bye bye now. What's up, Dreamer Tribe? What's up, world? I am Bianca, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content of this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button to let me know. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to be a part of the Dreamer Tribe, just hit on that subscribe button. We also have tons of different content here on my channel, so be sure to check those out. Until the next video, dream on, fly on.